people, DG, I'm back again. West Ham 1, Arsenal 3. 3 points. It's been 2 months, people, and we won a game. We won a game away from home. Like, if nothing more, in fact, it is nothing more than a victory for us and a one sort of W in a period where we've just taken consistent L's. We even took L's today, sadly, with Kieran Tierney and Bellerin's injury. We really got out of jail because of a 10-minute passage in the second half, like you saw with Pepe, with Aubameyang for the second, which was a terrific, third, which was a terrific goal to cushion the thing. Pepe's goal, which was a madness. Don't let me downplay that at all. Martinelli, first full Premier League debut, gets a start, deserved it. Away from his goal, I feel he had a positive performance, not in terms of showing what he can do technically and hurting the opposition, but showing he's not scared away from home, showing he can win smart little free kicks. They were rare, but he did little throw-ins, showing a good temperament and stuff for a young player. That's the sort of things we need, man. And obviously, we're still waiting on Martinelli. He's shown consistency, so I'm not saying he's not showing consistency, but if him, Saka, all these guys were to play 10, 20 games in a row, you don't know what you'd get. He's going to have terrible games, and like he's going to have good games. It's down to us to stand by him. And for all Martinelli's ability, he seems very receptive to learning and information, and he'll be good. So let's stand by him. Because for me, I think he's a great player, people. Other than playing with a spring in our step for that passage, we were poor today, people. We looked resigned to defeat. We looked low on confidence. We looked several things. But we won. Hopefully Pepe gets some mad confidence from this game as well. We were saying that in the Europa League when he put in them free kicks, but hopefully he can, because he played quite good. Like him and Martinelli, I would have said they had 6 out of 10 games, 6 out of 10 performances, prior to their goals. But yeah, we might as well review the player ratings. I've been waffling. I didn't actually say that. Leno, I'm going to give Leno a 7, people. In fact, I'll give Leno an 8, because Leno made a couple saves. It's another day where there isn't much Leno could do. In fact, mark down the goal, because if I watch the game again, I thought the whole back five, in fact, every player in that box, Leno included, could have done better. But Leno gets a 7. It's a similar game where there's not much more you can demand from Leno. Feel his distribution last game put us under pressure. Today, I didn't have them problems. There was one heart-in-mouth moment where he took long to distribute it to a short pass to, I believe, Chambers. But, pardon me, other than that, he did what he needed to do, people. I couldn't ask for more because the defence was terrible. And when it was asked upon, he made saves. There wasn't much. While I feel he obviously had a hand in the goal, he conceded indirectly because he's in the box. What could he do? It's terrible defending. Like he's literally the last line of defence in our team, and there's nothing he can do. He made some big saves, so I give him a 7. Chambers, I give Chambers a 6. I feel Chambers did all right today. What I especially like about Chambers is that he doesn't do things above his pay grade. Chambers hasn't been perfect, but he's been one of the better defenders in this team. Chambers obviously can do the ball playing, but he don't try to do things above his pay grade. When it's time to put his foot through it, I think he's proven that he can be, at this moment in time, that he can be a competent option of sorts in the team. No disrespect to him, and I'm sure all Arsenal fans agree. In an ideal world, Chambers is nowhere near your starting 11, but he's shown he can be called upon. He didn't want to leave the club previously, signed a new deal. He's gone out on 2 loan spells, and he's remained loyal to try and breaking through at Arsenal in some capacity. And this season, I think he's been one of the better performers. And today, I give him a 6. Like there weren't much he could do. Yeah, man. I give Socrates a 5. I feel listen, Socrates wouldn't have played for me. He's really in my bad books. But I feel other than the team being terrible and we're terrible as a collective, I couldn't ask for much more than him. I feel aerially he did all right. Even the goal we conceded, people, in the build-up, he actually gets, in the really pre-build-up, he gets up to the header well, and we failed to deal with it. So in that regards, I think he can get a 5. Tierney, I can't really give him a rating because he came off injured. Did look all right in his cameo, but yeah. Maitland-Niles, I give a 6. Better second half. I felt he found it tough to a degree down there left or right hand side. Obviously doesn't defend like a natural defensive minded player. I know doesn't want to be a defender, but he's played enough games there to know better. But it is what it is. I feel he had a better second half, and I give him a 6. Now I'm gonna give Xhaka a 5 because the whole team turned back. But if we didn't have that 10-minute passage, I can't lie, I'd probably have a 0. I don't advocate scapegoating players, but I feel Xhaka was terrible today, people. He wasn't alone in being sloppy in possession and losing the ball, but some of the things he was doing can only be described as brainless. Torreira had a good game today, but I have to pull up Torreira as well. When we was losing, he done a little flick on our goal line, not our goal line, in our area, or on the edge of our area, which was stupid. Really need to look at reinforcements in central midfield. If I'm going to say summer, because I've got no hope in January, would love it to happen. But yeah, I give him a 5. On another day, probably would have got a 0 or 3 at best. Torreira, I give it 8. I feel he had a decent game. He was technically involved in all 3 goals. One of his best games in a while, to be fair with you. I feel Torreira was good, man. Play him in his natural role and you see what happens. Hopefully them rumours of departing can be quashed now. So Torreira gets an 8. I'm going to give Ozil an 8 as well. Decent second half, and I feel in the first half he always made an angle. What more are you going to demand of Ozil, really and truly, in that regards? Kolasinac, I give a 7. Obviously, I feel he's on the basis of the last 180 minutes he's played, he could potentially felt hard done by being dropped for Kieran Tierney in this game. Sadly, Tierney's injured. I would have dropped him for Kieran Tierney, but I believe spots are earned, and I have question marks over Kolasinac defensively. But last 2 games he's been relatively solid. When he came on, I think he did all right. He obviously it's not technically, he got the assist for Martinelli's goal, people, in which Torreira was again involved in the build-up. So I give him a 7. And again, we hope Tierney's fit just so we have 2 people fighting for that spot. And just as a human being, we don't want no one in ill health. But if nothing can be in terms of a fullback, in terms of Tierney not being an option, long or short or medium term, depending on how long that injury is for, Kolasinac on current form shown that we may potentially not miss Kieran Tierney. Of course I am, because I want him to play, but a 7. I'll give Martinelli a 9. I'm not going to give a 10, Carl. We just weren't perfect as a team, but as close to a 10 as potentially could be. Same for Pepe when I speak about Pepe. Take away Martinelli's goal, I would have probably potentially have given him a 6 or a 7, people, because I feel he had a decent game. Not in terms of showing what he can do technically and his flair and scoring goals and things. Just sometimes you need to show that you're not scared of this. You're trying to stand up to be counted. And there was a couple of times he cut out West Ham's attacks and just the build-up, just purely by pressing. Like, it doesn't look like it will have come to anything, but just purely by pressing and being a tiny bit positive. So I liked that. I believe he deserved his goal. Lovely movement from him for his goal. Lovely build-up from Torreira and Kolasinac respectively. But the movement, you can be taught movement, but I believe in Martinelli's case, he was born with that, man. He's got that cerebral movement, and I know he's been playing on the left, coming up allegedly at Etano and that. I see his future as a striker, people, man. Now, I don't really care if he plays up front or the left. I just want him to start. It's his first full Premier League debut, starting 90 minutes. And he walked away with a good game, people. And he almost got an assist. I swear, he played one lovely pass. It could have been Pepe, it could have been Aubameyang. The shot didn't come to anything. I don't know, people. But he gets a 9. Pepe gets a 9. Potentially Martinelli. Do you know what? Martinelli and Pepe, I'll give you a 10. Because I couldn't demand more of you lot. In fact, Pepe, sometimes he loses the ball in dumb positions. But you're going to have to take that with these sort of players. And the thing that's my pet peeve is that, obviously, it's smart play, but when you lose the ball and you pretend to be injured and stuff, sometimes you can con the ref. I do think he does that a bit too frequently. But I think he had a good game. Even if we lost today, I think he was one of the best Arsenal players on the football field. Not that we was amazing. He would have got a 6 out of 10. Lovely goal. Hopefully that does wonders for his confidence. I'm not going to say even better assist, because the assist isn't better than the goal, people. But lovely assist for Aubameyang. I'm going to give Martinelli and Pepe 10s, man. Let's stop being harsh on them. Aubameyang, I'll give a 7. Don't really feel he could get more. Was on course for a 6, because I feel he's hard done by. He knows all games, home and away this season, really. But away from home, he knows he's not going to get much luck. He's going to be feeding off scraps. He's just going to be doing bleep tests. And he was doing bleep tests a lot of the game. But when it was vital, he popped up, people. And I swear he technically got an assist. Forgive me. Do you know what? No, let me put respect on his name. Did he swear Aubameyang technically got an assist for Pepe's goal? I don't know, people. My emotions are all over the place. I don't know. But do you know what? Aubameyang, I'll give you a 9, man. I don't feel you was on quite the same level as Pepe and Martinelli, but I'll give you a 9 if you were involved in that. I'll be shocked by 2 points. Yeah, people, it's nothing more than 3 points. We couldn't ask for more. We could do nothing more. If nothing more, it's insurance. If you can say that, because we're not in any top 4 contention, but it's insurance in terms of the game we've got on Sunday. Now, City are not going to be doing what they've been doing in their defeats this season. You can probably expect a full strength, ready to go Manchester City team, because they potentially can't afford to lose again this season, or at least at this point in time this season, as realistic as that sounds. But in regards to my player ratings, I've got nothing more to say, so I'm going to get out of here. People, DG.